We're achieving another childhood dream today, and that is the Elle Woods bunny costume from Legally Blonde. Hey guys, I'm Mackenzie and welcome back to my channel where I take you on the behind the scenes journey of my latest cosplay project. I'm facing my fears this year and making the costumes that I think are too hard for me to make or are outside of my skill level. This one specifically I am extremely afraid of and have been putting off for years because of the corset, and that's because it has boob construction and I just started to get comfortable making stays, and now a corset with like cups is very concerning. This is gonna be a big ask for me. So let's see if I can do it. I'll just take on the Elle mindset. What, like it's hard? Yes, I really think it's gonna be hard. Excuse me, Omar. This is Omar, he's here for emotional support. Anyways, let's discuss the plan for the project. The things that I have to DIY are the underwear, the corset, and the ears. And then I just have to procure the hot pink fishnets and shoes and the bunny tail. Okay, to start we have to dye the fabric for the underwear and for the lace portion of the corset. Like always, I'm going to be extremely over-concerned about having exact color match for all of my fabrics for this project, so I'm dyeing this white fabric for the little panties and this lace fabric for on top of the corset. And I'm putting literally a splash of this pink dye in the pot because I just want it to be slightly pink because it almost looks white in some lighting in some scenes. Titling this section of the video, The Panties, feels a little bit weird, but that's what we're gonna go with. I'm loosely following a pattern that I found on Etsy and making sure to cut out 2 pieces of each so that I can double line it, and then putting it together was low-key kind of hard. Because no matter how I was sewing it together, it just refused to un-inside out itself. That's wrong. But eventually I did end up figuring it out, and I ironed down my edges really flat and finished with a zigzag detail stitch. Okay, here are our little panty things. I can't be bothered to finish the top because I'm afraid that it's gonna make them like wonky. So this is gonna be covered by the corset anyways, and this is for me, so it doesn't have to be finished correctly. Give it a little try on. I look like an insane pink superhero. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, so moving on to our bodice, which I am going to be turning into a corset instead of the classic like clasp back lingerie top. What do you call it? Like a bustier. I'm not doing that because 1, I think that's going to be hard to tailor to me, and 2, I want to have a snatch factor that I feel like only a corset can give me. And of course I couldn't find something that was exact on Etsy, so I'm starting with this pattern and I'm doing a little bit of patterning on my mannequin with muslin fabric to draw out the lines and figure out where I want all of the pieces to go. And my pattern ended up being 4 pieces to match the lines on Elle's original corset, and I'm cutting 2 of each, 1 for the left and 1 for the right side. And since my satin fabric is super thin, I'm going to be lining each piece with a duck fabric for structural stability. I have all of the bodice pieces cut out and I'm waiting for the foam to come for the cups. So in the meantime, I'm just going to iron everything and sew these pieces together. The plan is to use this duck fabric as my interfacing because my satin is very cheap and see-through, so that is a problem. Plus the duck fabric is going to act as a stabilizer, which is amazing. One of the alterations that I'm planning on making is to the back. So this is what the back of hers looks like. It has the classic bra / lingerie hook and eyes up the back. I don't have a plan as far as the order of operations for the construction. I need to give myself as best of a chance as I can to be able to tailor this properly. And I think to do that, I am just going to do a corset, like a standard like lace up back with grommets, which is not accurate to hers, but I'm saving myself the headache because I simply don't think I can handle figuring out how to tailor that. So that's the plan. The ironing is always the worst part because it's crucial in making sure that everything looks right and is flat, but it's just like, ugh, really, we have to do this again? We just ironed. But it's necessary, so 1 out of 8 complete. This just came in the mail so we can get back to action on putting together the bodice. This flex foam is for the cup situation, and so I'm supposed to cut patterned pieces out of this and then sew them together to make the cups. I don't really know at all how that's supposed to work, but I know I have a couple triangles and like a curved curved wedge piece. So we're gonna take this boy, snip him up, and apparently I can just sew through this. It's fusible too, but I don't think I'm gonna do that because that seems like, what if it has a wrinkle in it and then I'll lose my mind. So I'm gonna cut this out now. All right, you're entering the part that I was most afraid of and the reason that I was putting off this costume for so long. So I'm just cutting out all the pattern pieces to begin with and then figuring out before I start sewing which pieces go where because it was not clear in the instructions. This is exactly why I was afraid of the boob cups, because I'm even watching the video and I still don't understand which way it's supposed to go because it's shaped like this. It's not the same shape on both sides, so like, where does this go? And there's no instructions. Okay, there are instructions, they're just extremely unclear. So don't use this pattern if you're making this. I was determined to make this work, and then I found out that there's another little special thing about this fabric is that because it's so thin, it's sort of like malleable and the fibers shift, so even if I cut it to one shape, it can morph into something else. But I just stuck to it, I followed along, and hey, it's actually starting to look like something. So then I sewed my pads together, and basically you're just making cups. Like, I could have bought these, but this is actually a helpful skill now that I know how to use it. So I'm just attaching them together with zigzag stitch, and that's it. That was really scary, but we have these now. They look a little, they seem huge, but they seem too short / small. We're not out of the woods until we attach these to the bodice. So I'm scared, but let's do it because what if it works, guys? What if it works? Okay, boob one. So I just do like this. So as long as you've cut everything out to be the same length, attaching the cups is not actually that hard. I just have to pin them right sides together along the curve. Okay, my phone died, but I just pinned this little fluff on it because I was worried that the cups were too small because I misjudged the size of the girls. I think it looks right. So, like, a lot of my boob was gonna be showing, so the fluff is gonna cover that up. So we live and we learn. Next time I'll make it the right size. But I think doing the fluff is gonna save me, and it's so good. I ordered a couple different floofs, and I think that this is gonna be the one that I go with because even though it's a little bit more pink than like a baby pink, it's better and has the same feather effect than the other one I got. I bought 6 of these boa fluffs and somehow they're all the wrong color, but the one bunny tail I bought is the exact right perfect pink, and I just don't understand how that happened. See? Perfect. I can't get one that's the right color. I just don't understand what's going on because they're all either too warm or too hot pink or too dull and not just like a cool baby pink color. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to choose one of these options. Before ordering any more feather boas and coming to a decision, I decided to finish off the corset with some plastic boning into the boning channels that I made to match Elle's and finishing off with some grommets so that I can actually close this thing. And of course I got matching pink grommets so that I could make the back a little bit more subtle. Let's just try it on. I wanted to put in some grommets and put it on before I finish the top and bottom to figure out where those need to go. How far does hers go? And if this is, it's actually perfect. All right, now let's put a trim on this and then we can put on the embellishment here. Since I had no idea how I was going to tailor this and what the final shape would be, I didn't cut a lining piece. So all I'm doing now is making a facing using the same fabric and cutting about like an inch that's gonna fold over on the bottom. With all the hard work out of the way, it's time for the fun part, which is decorating the corset with the lace trim and the fluff. The lace on Elle's corset has a very distinct hourglass shape that was weirdly hard for me to find. I think I ordered 5 or 6 different lace fabrics until I finally settled on this one. And then I carefully hand sewed the lace and the feather trim onto the bodice, which is actually my favorite part because it's so relaxing. For some reason, sewing on a sewing machine makes me feel like I'm going a million miles a minute, probably because I am, and things can just go wrong when you're going that fast. And finally, on my 7th order of a feather boa, I found the exact right color. With the big costume pieces out of the way, we are on to the accessories, and the only thing that I really have to make is the bunny ears, and these are our 2 fabrics. I figured I could handle making my own ear pattern, so I'm drawing that out, and I'm going to be cutting out 2 pieces of each. So each ear is going to have a light pink back and a dark pink front with a duck interfacing piece in the middle for structural stability again. I'll sew those together and turn my little sandwich inside out and then do a top stitch, which I can stick a wire through so that I can bend them like hers are. And with that, we're ready for our reveal. Overall, the costume came out super cute, and I'm really proud of myself for this being the first corset I've made that has cups, because that was super tricky, and it just told me that just try the things you're afraid of doing because you might be able to do it. I spent so long trying to get this hair and makeup just right to try and make myself look a little bit more like Reese Witherspoon, because for some reason people keep commenting on Instagram that I look like her. So if you want to watch that process, I'll link it on screen. I can't tell if this actually looks like Reese Witherspoon, but I'm obsessed with the outfit and I'm so happy that I finally did this cosplay. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to come back for more cosplay content. Bye guys!